أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum jamian wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope all of you can hear me. Thank you again for joining us for this level 4 of our Quranic Arabic course. We are going to start with Unit 2 of the text. It means discussion on words. But before that, as I promised in my email, we'll have a quick look at last 6 lessons, just as a revision. And then later on, if you have questions, later on you can just send me email, or we can discuss this later on in the previous, the next, in the following lessons. Now, again, that you should know that the moment you register, you should get or Zoom link. It's automatic. What happens is that sometimes it goes to your spam mail or somewhere, but you have to make sure that immediately, the moment you register, it automatically system is there. And we always get this kind of complaints that when class start, people say they have not received Zoom link, but actually, in fact, they have received. No, it just goes to either spam mail, or what happens that sometimes if you registered quite early, maybe a month ago or so, then it tends to, for example, get lost in the inbox. In any case, those of you who have been with us are familiar with our class. Still, majority of our students are from GT, except for Sister Yasmin Rajabali, which is from Delta, from BC. So we will try to see if we can at least have 1 or 2 sessions in person, if it's possible. But we will let you know, inshallah. No. Yes, as usual, we prefer that because of the first class, can I have a volunteer to recite a short surah of Quran?
Sure, I can do that.
Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Ahsan, jazakumullah. The reason we do this, those of you who are aware that that Allah says in Quran, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. This is ayat number 204 of Surah Al-A'raf, Surah number 7. That when Quran is being recited, listen to it and be attentive. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Perhaps the mercy of Allah will be with you. So, of course, as we start the course, we want the mercy of Allah, the rahmah of Allah be with us, that we are able to benefit from this. And I am also able to do justice to this course because you have come with some kind of expectations. It's my duty to make sure that I also work hard to deliver those expectations. So we all are in need of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we do it. I'm thankful that Amjad accepted immediately. So as we continue following sessions, please make sure that you do come forward and recite a surah. Today, I've chosen a dua for this course, a dua which is by the Prophet, because we are already in the month of Rabiul Awwal. Today, as you know, is 5th of Rabiul Awwal, right? Tuesday is actually 6th of Rabiul Awwal. Yeah, today is the 6th of Rabiul Awwal, and this is the month of the Prophet when he was born. According to Sunnis, his birth was 12th of Rabiul Awwal. According to Shias, his birth was 17th of Rabiul Awwal. The scholars in Iran have suggested a good idea. It's between 12th and 17th, there is no wafat. So why don't we consider this as a week of unity? Small wahda, the week of unity, whereby the Shias and Sunnis, both of them can combine and celebrate the birth of the Prophet, which is a great personality. We need more than 1 session for that. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yes. So what I've chosen is a dua put by the Prophet, which he used to recite in namaz salat of salat witr of tahajjud salat. The 1 rakat salat, which is, he used to recite this thing. It's a beautiful dua, and I thought that I'll do it because we want to learn new duas. In any case, as you know, this is already Maghrib time. So after this, we'll do Maghribain salat and continue the class. By the time we finish the class, or some of us will just, for example, do some reading and then we'll go to sleep. So then we, of course, start the day with a namaz al-shab, tahajjud salat. No? So this is the dua which we will be using for this course, okay, for the session. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Allahumma hdini fi man hadayta. وعافني فيمن عافيت وتولني فيمن توليت وبارك لي فيما أعطيت وقني شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك سبحانك رب البيت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وأؤمن بك وأتوكل عليك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بك يا رحيم اللهم صل على محمد. I've chosen this dua, of course, one is because it is the month of Ramadan dua taught by the Prophet. Secondly, as we said, it's part of Salatul Witr. But also interestingly, is that this dua has many verbs. No? So, for example, we start with this thing, right? Salli. This salli is a verb, okay? Means send your blessing. Sallallahu Allahumma hdini. Oh Allah, guide me. So this is a verb. Allahumma. Fiman hadaita. You know, to those whom you have guided. So again, this is also a verb. This is guide me and whom you guided. Afini, and heal me or take care of my well-being, right? Afini, fiman afaita, to those whom you have healed or you're taken care of. No, so afaita, this is a verb again. But tawallani, right? And take care of me, tawallani, right? Fiman tawalat, the way you've taken care of others, right? So that is again verb. Barik, and bless me. Barik is a verb. Fima ataita, in what you have given me. Ataita is given me, is a verb, right? Wakini, and protect me. For example, we say wakina azabanna. Wakina azabanna, protect us. Yeah, wakini is protect me. Sharma qadaita, what you have decreed. No? So this is also verb. Innaka taqdi, this is also verb, that you decree. Wala yugda alayka. This is also verb as a passive verb, you are not decreed upon. Right? Subhanaka Rabbal Alameen Astaghfiruka. Again, this is a verb. I seek forgiveness. Wa atubu, then this is also a verb, and I do tawbah. Wa uminu, and I believe, right? Uminu, bika wa tawakkalu, and I put my trust in you, wa tawakkalu. No? So, wala hawla wala quwwata illa bika, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So you can see within this dua, all this what we were highlighted, okay? These are all what verbs. So since we are going to enter now the chapter of verbs, I thought this dua also will serve as well. That it is as well as is not only dua, but it has so many verbs, okay, which we are going to come to. I hope that you are going to recite this regularly. We'll have volunteer next week for this dua, as well as you will recite it when Allah gives us the tawfiq to recite Tahajjud Salat, okay? If you wake up in the morning, if you only have little time, just do wudu and recite Salatul Witr. And this is one of the du'as which is recite Namaz al-Witr, okay? This is the translation of each line by line, which I won't enter just now. We'll see maybe in future classes, we'll discuss about it, okay? So, as I promised, we'll do revision from lessons 21 to 26 of Unit 1, and then get into Unit 2, inshallah. So, in our book on page 61, lesson 21, if you open the text, I hope by now all of you have the text. Make sure that you invest in the text. So if you go to lesson 21, in my book, it is page number 20, it's page number 61. So there is the whole table there, interrogative nouns, okay? You'll find there is a table. Hal, man, liman, lima, kaifa, kam, anna. These are the all interrogative nouns used as questions. No? And it is important that we memorize them. So I was able to find online picture about these interrogative nouns which are added here. Of course, I know I'm teaching adults. This is from a book for the children, but just I thought that at least to bring that kind of design. So it is kam, ma, kaifa, hal, limaza, man, mata, aina. So you should not only memorize these things, but you should also know the meanings of them. And more important, as you recite Quran, when you come across this thing, you immediately should know that this is an interrogative noun. It's a question mark. No? So they say, Adawatul istifham. Adawat is tools. No. Istifham comes from the fahima. Fahima is to know, understand. For example, fahim. Somebody's name is Fahim, is knowledgeable. The girl's name is Fahima, right? Fahim. Istifham is seek to know. So when a person asks question, he's seeking or she's seeking to know something. That is why it's known as istifham. No, the word istifham, interrogative pronouns. So memorize this thing. Know that these nouns are interrogative only when they appear at the beginning of the sentence. This is important. So if they appear at the beginning of the sentence, then it is a question mark. Otherwise, it can be just part of the sentence. Now, which is not necessarily the beginning of an ayat. You should know sometimes that within ayat there are a number of sentences, okay? Because some verses are very quite long. So when we say beginning of a sentence, does not necessarily mean that the beginning of an ayat, of a sentence, okay? The noun ayyana is used to question about only important issues. So maybe you can later on check where is ayyana, for example, in the Quran. No? Let us see if in our book the ayyana is there. Okay, so maybe it's there. Yeah, if you see in our book, the ayyana example she has given on page 63. Now, ayyana yamuddin, when is the day of judgment? No? So ayyana is when, like mata, same as like mata, when, but ayyana is used for importance. So ayyana yamuddin, that doesn't say mata yamuddin, because mata is just when. No? Mata dars, no? Mata nadrus, masalan, mata nadrus ad-dua. We're not going to learn dua, for example. But ayyana, no. When is the day of judgment? Its importance is used ayyana. Okay? So this is a quick revision of lesson 21. We'll go now to lesson 22 of our book, okay, our text, which is Arab of nouns in the form of fatah and fatatain, mansubat, okay? So now, of course, this is some of the people, even when we were doing the classes earlier, both with your group and other groups, they always were finding challenging about this, accusative, genitive, nominative, right? But I can assure you that over time you will realize it, okay? But this particular chapter is just Arab Ismul Mansuba. That means in those cases where the Arab is always Fatah or Fatatain, which is, we say, either accusative or we say in Arabic Mansub, Mansubat. That's why they say Arab Ismul Mansuba. That means Arab, the nouns of forms of Mansubat is the plural of Mansub. Mansub is when there is Fatah or Fatatain, right? And then it's plural Mansubat. For example, here it is. In the sentence, Allah created the universe, Allah is the subject, fa'il, doer, and the universe is the objects. So we can say, خلق الله, no, Allah خلق العالم, right? So that will be, the subject is, Allah is subject and object is maf'ul. So there are 5 kinds of objects. Now, lesson 22 or in our text, or lesson 35 in Arabic Quran. Okay, this is another book which we also sometimes use. So we have given the 5 different cases. Direct object, maf'ulun bi, right? And we also have given references. This is the same slide we had discussed earlier. Absolute object, to add a greater force to the verb to extend its meaning. Maf'ul mutlaq, we say, right? So he left a big laugh, for example, we say. Or if we say, Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna bi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Wa sallimu taslima, both are same. And send your greetings. Taslima, you can see, is again same root word, salama. That means when you recite a salawat, then do it proper salawat. And that is why when this ayat was revealed, people came to Rasulullah and said, we understand that we send salawat on you. But what is this, that we send a salawat which is a proper salawat, right? A complete salawat. And Prophet said that you should also include my al. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this has been the practice long ago. Let me tell you one thing. I might have mentioned this in my class earlier, so you will excuse me if I repeat. So in 5 minutes, Azan will start, so we'll just end this slide and continue. So I remember that when I was doing my master's in Vancouver, when I was there doing my master's, My professor was Hanna Kassis. He has died. He was a Christian but Palestinian. So when I was translating a passage, he asked me to translate. In that passage, the person took the name of the Prophet and said, Sallallahu ala, Sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, Sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Now, peace be on him and his family. So when I was translating, then I put a comment there. This writer is Shia. So my professor said, how can you say it? How can you say Shia? I said, because he says, Sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. He said, no. Even Sunnis used to say Sallallahu alayhi. This is only after the beginning of the revolution in Iran. Now that there is a lot of awareness between Shias and Sunnis, and the Saudis have started all this campaign, and people have started campaigning against Shias. So now they stop dropping it. It says Sallallahu alayhi wasallam, right? But even they used to say Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this is when you say absolute object, add a greater force. So we send salawat, which is a complete salawat. Object for time and place, maf'ulun fi. So object for time and place of it's not. Object for expressing aim, cause, and motive, right? Maf'ulun lahu, these are. Object for denoting meaning of with, maf'ul ma. So here is now nouns of time. Laylan, naharan, yawman, masa'an. You can see laylan, these are all times. Night, day, layla nahar. For example, Allah says that Nabi Nuh is complaining that, Ya Allah, I preach, da'utu lahum laylan wa nahara. Oh Allah, I used to invite them day and night, even they don't listen to me. So laylan wa nahar, right? So it is also maf'ul, no? Or place. Fawka, tahta, inda, lada, amam, ora. So these are the examples of mansubah. That means those nouns in which you'll find that it will come fatah, it will appear. It's known as mansub. Okay. So this is lesson 22. Inshallah, after namaz, we will start with lesson 23, which is Arab. Okay. We have about only a few minutes before namaz. So I will pause here and we will continue, inshallah. And hope to see you, as we said, at 8:10, okay? 10 past 8. Hold on. Hello. Alaikum salam. You don't have the link. Okay. No, you should have received immediately, but okay, I'll send you, inshallah. After namaz, we'll continue. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Alaikum salam. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, good. So let's continue, inshallah. You can also see the slides, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we go to the next lesson, and that is about, before that, yeah. So we're discussing about Arab, right? This is the lesson on Arab, which I thought that I will keep in front of you the text. And many of the people had a issue with understanding the Arab. In fact, somebody also said, why even in the first place, why the Arab is there? So it is very important. Actually, Arab is the one which, when you read a sentence, Arabic sentence or ayat of Quran, you can only know if the grammar is correct, if the Arab is there properly. If the Arab is followed properly, then you would know that it has been, the grammatical part is correct. So here it is. Arab is the phenomena of word declension. Declension, that means, for example, when you put fatha, kasra, dhamma, declension, right? In the Arabic language. Declension refers to the change and variation in the form of a word. And through this change and variation, we understand the grammatical case of the word by which we get to know the function of the word in the sentence. Notice how nu changes in these verses. So all of us know that Nuh is one of the prophets. Not only prophet, but Ulul Azm Paigambar, right? No. So in Quran, subhanallah, you have got all three cases of Nuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ونادى نوح ربه فقال ربي إن ابني من أهلي وإن وعدك الحق وأنت أحكم الحاكمين. When the flood started coming, and people just got onto the ark, Nuh asked his son also to get onto the ark, but he refused. So Nuh said to him that, no, if you don't come on the ark, then in fact, no, you'll be drowned. So he was a rebellious son. He said, what's the big deal? I'll just go on the top of the mountain and protect myself. Right? But of course, Nuh knew that, no, what Allah has promised will be true. So when it started raining and pouring in huge amount, right? And when the sun did not go onto the ark, Nuh cried, or nada Nuh. Nuh did the Rabbo. Nuh called out to his Rabb, Allah. فَقَالَ رَبِّي إِنَّ نَبْنِي مِنْ أَهْلِي. Oh Allah, my son is also of my family. وَإِنَّ وَعْدَكَ الْحَقِّ. And your promise is true. وَأَنْتَ حَقٌّ الْحَاكِمِينَ. And you are best of the judges. Of course, the next ayat says, Allah says, he is not your son because he does not obey you, right? But this is it, that in this case, Nuh is the subject, is the one who is calling out. And that is why it is marfu. That is why it is nominative. وَنَادَى نُوحٌ رَبَّهُ. You can see. وَنَادَى نُوحٌ رَبَّهُ. Nuh called out to his Lord. You can see Rabbah has a mansub, fatah. So this is maf'ul, right? Nuh is fa'il. Okay? So in this case, Nuh is nominative, okay, mansub. Another ayat, which is ayat number 59 of Surah Al-Araf, قَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ. Allah says, indeed, we sent Nuh to his people. So, قَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا, indeed, أَرْسَلْنَا, that means we, Allah says we. أَرْسَلْنَا, we have sent, Nuhan. So in this case, Allah is the sender, is the one who commissions this responsibility, and Nuh is the object, the one who's being sent. So in this case, we can see Nuh has fataten, it is accusative, okay? So this was marfu, this is mansub, fataten, this is accusative. So this is accusative, okay? In another ayat number 4, ayat 163 of Surah Nisa, Bismillah, وَإِنَّا وَحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ كَمَا وَحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ نُوحٍ. O Prophet Muhammad, we have revealed to you the way revealed to Nuh. Kama awhayna ila Nuh, the way we did wahi to Nuh. So ila Nuhi, ila is preposition, right? So after ila, there is jar, there is, genitive. So it ila Nuhi. So you can see Nuhun, Nuhan, Nuhin. Do you see this thing? So these are known as Arab. So So it is Arab which tells us, for example, this noon tells us that this is must be a file. In this case, it must be a maf'ul. In this case, it must be a jar, right? After a jar. So these are. And keep in mind, of course, as we have done, we are just revising. It can be nuhun also, kun nuhu alone. Even nuhu with only one dhamma is still marfu. Now, of course, in this case, level, but even fatha, one fatha can also be marfu. And for example, here one fatha, right? Rabbahu, you can see. Wanada nuhun rabbahu. So rabbahu, this is mansub because here Rab is what a maf'ul. No, nu call out to his son. So mansub can be fathatain or one fatha, okay? And then, of course, it can be satain. This is in singular form. Then in plural form, things changes. Example, right? So, for example, here it is one nabiyyin. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى نُوحٍ وَالنَّبِيِّينَ. We have revealed to you the way we revealed to Nuh and to other prophets, one nabiyyin. So nabi is singular. Is plural, sound plural is nabiyyun. Okay, but in a genitive form, nabiyyun becomes nabiyyin, or also in accusative form becomes nabiyyin. Okay, so these are all Arab. But Arab sometimes is through fatatain, kasratain, dhammatain, or sometimes it is ya sakin, or waw sakin. Okay, so this is what this chapter is about. This chapter on Arab. That means chapter number 23. Okay, so you can see here Nuhun is with dhammatain because he's subject in the center, right? In some fact, we see Nuhan with fatatain because here Nuh is the object, the one who was sent by Allah to his community. In Surah 4, ayat 116, we see Nuhin with kasratain because it follows preposition ilah. Grammatically, the first is in the nominative case, the second is known as the accusative case and genitive case. These are just the words. Okay? So this is just a revision of this lesson 23. Okay, we will stop for taking some questions if you have. Okay? We go to now chapter 24. Okay, so keep your textbook open, and we go to chapter 24, which is talks about Ismail Mabni wal Mu'arrab. So there are some nouns which don't change. Example, Nuhun, Nuhan, Nuhin. It changed all three cases, right? But there are some which does not change, which remains as it is, even if before that. So this is known as mabni. That means you can see that they are firm. Mabni now, those now which are not influenced by any word, mabni, right? For example, you can just remember the word bana, right? Bana means structure. So mabni. So this is something which is not influenced by any kind of situation. And then mu'arrab is that which changes. Right? So here it is, example. Example, a few mabni nouns appear on the website. Here are the few words with mabni nouns. Okay. وَكَفَّيْنَا عَلَىٰ آثَارٍ بِإِيسَى ibn Maryam. So you can see ba is a preposition, but Isa still remains Isa. So Isa is a noun which is mabni. It does not get influenced just because of preposition. وَكَفَّيْنَا عَلَىٰ آثَارٍ بِإِيسَى ibn Maryam مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ مِنَ التَّوْرَاةِ قد أستبدلون الذين هو أدنى بالذي هو أخر. So بالذي, no, we change for them, which was, what بالأدنى بالذي هو خير, right? So بالذي here is what is mabni. It doesn't change. Although despite the preposition ba, the word Isa and these do not get affected by the remaining. Mu'arrab, on the other hand, nouns are of two types. Munsarif, fully changeable, and Munsarif, partly changeable. No. So Muhammadun, Salihun, Nuhun are Munsarif, fully changeable, as you saw, no, which get influenced by in all situations. Example, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Walladhina ma'ahu ashidda al-kuffar. Ashhadu anna Muhammadun Rasulullah, right? Allahumma. So again, you can see in this case, like Nu, here also, you can see all these cases are there. There is Muhammadun, which is a marfu, nominative. This is Muhammadan, which is mansub, which is accusative. And this is Muhammadin, which is followed before majroor, so like genitive. So you can see that this changes. Right? Muhammad is fully munsarif. It changes. These are known as munsarif. Munsarif, that means fully changeable. غير منصرف are partly changeable. All deep drops are examples of غير منصرف. Your done deep drops, they are not formed from Arabic roots. They do not take tanween and kasra at all. So example is here Adam, right? ولقد عهدنا إلى آدم من قبل فنسي ولم نجد له عزما, right? So ولقد عهدنا إلى آدم. So إلى آدم is not آدمي, آدم. Another example we gave you when we were doing this course was Fatima, right? We say بمحمد بألي. On the night of Qadr, we say بفاطمة. We don't say بفاطمة. We say بفاطمة because Fatima is, deep top or غير منصرف, right? And it does not take kasra. They don't take kasra or tanween, okay? بفاطمة. So this is chapter number 23, okay?
Sorry, I have a question.
Bismillah.
Apologies if this was asked during the last session, but for mabni, if there are, let's say, there's a sentence with a subject and an object, and both the subject and object are mabni, how can you tell the difference?
Yes, then you have to see the context. You have to know the context. Now, most of the case, of course, when it comes to Quran, Allah will not make it so confusing. But let's say in a normal way, if both object and subject are mabni, then it will be difficult. Yeah, so you have to see the context. Context will give you idea that who is the subject, who is the object.
Okay,
It's a good question, yeah. And that can happen, yes. But then context is important. You will, over time, you realize from the context it is. But just now, as we are learning this language, this is what we know, that mabni is something which does not change, and mu'arrab is something which changes. Okay, so there are some, you should realize that there are some nouns which will not change, like Adam, Fatima, right? Isa, Allazi, all those. Okay? We go now to the next chapter, which is 25.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. Can
Go
you
ahead,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yeah, hear you.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
For lesson 23, I put my hand up, my digital hand up, but I
So
think
okay. Go ahead.
I think when you share your screen, you can't see that, I think. But lesson 23, please excuse my ignorance here.
Go ahead.
You mentioned everything about the Arab, which is good,
Yes.
but you also mentioned some other words in Arabic, which other than the genitive and accusative and all that, you mentioned other words, but I don't know exactly what they mean. So is it possible to have some sort of,
okay.
just like over here, just like in 24, in lesson 24, you have the words and then you have the meaning beside it.
Yes.
What is the word? For like you have the munsarif and then in bracket fully changeable.
Yes.
So in 23, you mentioned other words and I don't know what they mean.
Okay, so there was marfu. Marfu means nominative.
Yeah.
Then there was another word, mansub, which is accusative. And then majroor, which is genitive.
Majroor?
Majroor, yeah, jar, huruf jar. So jar, majroor. What I'll do that I will later on put in the slide, but you don't need to know those words. Keep in mind, if you understand the concept that this is nominative, this is accusative, this is genitive, that's fine. And as I said in the class again and again, that our author here, she does not use those words just to avoid the technicality. She just, for example, if you see chapter, if you have the text in front of you, for example, here, she says, Arab, when it comes to 24, you will find that she says, no, 22. If you go to 22, she uses the Arabic, but does not use the English. She says, Arab al-ism mansubat. So mansubat is plural of mansub. Mansub is accusative. But then what she does, she says the Arab of nouns in the form of fatah or fatatain. Do you see? So she uses those signs. For example, it has been discussed earlier that the normal Arab of noun is dumma and dummatain. So dumma and dummatain is marfu. Okay. And fatah and fatatain is mansub. Kasra and kasratain is majroor, jar, huruf jar, majroor, right? So these are the words which I use, but I deliberately did not put them. I did not want to increase more terminologies in Arabic. But if you understand, fine. If you understand the concept, is just important. That how things change. Okay.
Yeah.
So how they change. For example, nu, sometimes nuhun, sometimes nuhan, sometimes nuhin, sometimes Muhammad, sometimes Muhammadan, sometimes Muhammadin. As long as you understand how they come about, then you are fine. No. Okay. Because,
Okay.
yeah. But those were the
At the
words.
same time, when you mention those words in Arabic, I also need to know what they mean.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Fine. Yeah. So mansub is marfu is nominative.
nominative.
Rafa'a. Mansub. Marfu. Mansub is accusative. And majroor, jar is huruf jar is preposition. So majroor, something which is a kasra, that will be what genitive.
Right. Okay. Thank you very
And
much.
inshallah, when we come to these cases in verbs, again the terminology will change. Although the concept will be same, the terminology will change. You'll see both in English and Arabic, but we'll come to it later. Okay, good. Fine.
Thank you.
So we come to now 25, okay? Lesson 25 is small mukabbara, whereby you can see that we use abun, akhun, famun, right? So above, we discussed this in detail, but we are just quickly revising this thing. So sometimes, for example, in Arabic, we use these words, but they change. For example, we say Abu Abdullah, right? Abi Abdullah and Aba Abdullah. All these are because of mukabbara. These are, the word Abu comes from those nouns which are mukabbara, magnified nouns. They call it magnified noun, right? So this is, let me come to chapter 25. Yeah. They are known as magnified nouns. So Abun, Afun, Famun, right? And that's how it changes, depending. So Abun will be again in nominative or marfu. Aban is accusative or mansub, as said. And then Abi is majroor or genitive. So here it is, for example, Abu, nominative. Accusative is Aba. Genitive is Abi, you can see. So, Kala Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah said, because Abu Abdullah here is a subject, is a sayer of that hadith, we say Qala Abu Abdullah. And whenever you hear this in hadith, it automatically refers to 60 ma. Okay? But we say Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. Peace be on you, O Abu Abdullah. So because of ya, we have done earlier in the class, after Aba, because ya is munadi, after that it comes accusative. So Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. And whenever you say Ziyarat Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah, peace be on you, O Abu Abdullah, it automatically refers to the third Imam Hussein. So for example, if there's a hadith from the third Imam who's also named Abu Abdullah, then they would make it clear. They say, Kala Abu Abdullah Hussein ibn Ali. No, Abu Abdullah Hussein ibn Ali has said. But if you find hadith on its own, Kala Abu Abdullah, it refers to sixth Imam. So Kala Abu Abdullah is a subject, Abu Abdullah. Abba here is accusative. No. And then, for example, you can say, Ra'aytu, no, Katabtu ila Abu Abdullah. No, I wrote to Abu Abdullah. So Katabtu ila Abi Abdullah. Ila is again about preposition, so Abi becomes majroor. Okay, so these are known as magnified nouns. Okay, and example the Abun, Akhun, Famun, and then of course nominative, accusative, genitive we have given here, right? Also, in our class, we did discuss in detail about za, du, and that also, which are not included here because we are just quickly revising it. Okay? So here is, for example, note when we add the first person singular pronoun, ya, to magnify noun, famun, afun, abun, it becomes fami, afshi, in all situations. Okay. On the other hand, of course, although this is abi, which is genitive, no, katabtu ila Abi Abdullah, but if you want to say my father or my brother, or my mouth, you are going to put ya, and that becomes, of course, it's not genitive. This is now abi is just, that means my father. Is abu followed by the ya, which is of possession. For example, kalami. Remember we said earlier, kalami means my pen. Kitabi means my book. So in the same way, abi here means my father in this case, if you add the first person. But here abi does not mean my father. Here abi is a genitive form of abu. It means katabtu ila abi Abdullah. So this is a tricky that you have to know that is this abi means my father, or here abi means as a genitive. Okay, so keep this in mind. And we're going to example it. This is what Musa is saying to what Allah. And Allah asked him to go to Pharaoh. He says, inni la amliku illa nafsi wa akhi. Says, I do not have control or anyone except on myself and my brother. Others are not following me, right? It's okay. They will not listen to me. So akhi. You can see here akhi is my brother. Here akhi is not the genitive of what of akhu. No, this is akhi means my brother. Ya waylata ajastu an akuna misla hadha al-ghuraru wari sawat akhi. Again, this Qabil is talking about Habil. That when he killed Habil, he didn't know how to dispose until that time, and he saw two crows, one bird killing other bird, and then digging the hole and then hiding that other bird. So he says, woe be unto me. No, I did not even realize how to get rid of my brother after killing him. So akhi. How can I conceal the body of my brother, akhi? إذا بقميص هذا فألقوا على وجه أبي. You can see. Waji abi here is, no, it is the face of my father. Waji abi, mudaf ilayh. So take this thing and just cast it over the face of my father. Yati basiran, suddenly you will find my father who was blind. Yusuf is saying his brother. Izabu, go and take my shirt and cast it over the head of or the face of my father. Yati basiran, you'll find suddenly that his eyesight will come back. Okay, so Abi. Waqfir li Abi, innahu kana min al-dhalin. Nabi Ibrahim is praying to Allah that, oh Allah, forgive my father. He was amongst the one who was misled, right? Jatu ihdahuma tamshi ala istihai thayin, qalat inna Abi yad'uka. This is the two sisters of I think who is this? He's a prophet, I think is the name I'm forgetting. But these are daughters of the prophets. So one of these sisters says to Nabi Musa, my father is calling you. So
Nabi Shoaib? No,
Shoaib,
Nabi Shoaib.
Shoaib. Father-in-law of Musa. So Shoaib's daughter, Ja'at Hidama, one of the daughters of the came, Tamshi al-Istiyah. She walked with Istiyah. You can see, subhanallah, this is in Quran, right? She walked with shyness. Now, because she came to a stranger, Nabi Musa is still a stranger. She's not yet married. She came to her with all shyness, right? Qalat inna abi yaduka. My father is calling you. Not only that, the tafsir is telling us that as she was leading him to his her father, he refused to be behind him. So no, we prophets don't look at the back of the woman. So he said, I'm going to go ahead of you and you will just tell me. If for example, time comes that I have to turn right, then you can just say turn right or left. No, but I won't be following you. So these all kind of haya and shame and what modesty, which is being discussed here. Tamshi ala astaya, she worked with modesty. Inna bi yad'uka. So these are the example of magnified nouns, but in all these cases, ya here is the first person pronoun, which means possession. Unlike ya here, in this case, genitive, which is on account of what? Genitive form. Ila Abdullah, for example, katabtu ila akhi. For example, I wrote to my brother. My brother just now, for example, I have a brother in Arusha, a brother in Osaka, a brother in UK. So I wrote, for example, katabtu ila akhi. I wrote to my brother. So this is some of the examples of these magnified nouns. Okay? Then we come to the last chapter for us to revise is masdar. And this is a good way of entering into the next unit. So masdar is all those verbs, nouns which are formed from the verbs. And majority of the nouns in Arabic are derived from the verbs, except those which are foreign nouns. Okay? So for example, let us take the very common things. All of us know masjid and madrasa. Some of us also know makbara. Masjid, all of you know, right? Masjid is the most derived from the word sajda. Sajda means to prostrate. So masjid literally means place. No, masjid is a place of prostration, of sajda, masajid. So now onwards, mu'mineen and mu'minat, if you go to masjid, I know some of you recite 2 rakat namaz tahiyyat masjid, which is good, which is a good habit. Prophet was used to do that, right? But the first thing you do is also go to sajda and thank Allah that I've reached the masjid safely. If you are planning to be there for prayers on time, so you left on time and safely. So immediately go to sajda, because masjid, the first most important function of masjid is that we do sajda there. It is known as a place of sajda, okay? So singular is masjid, plural is masajid, place of prostration. Makbara, a cemetery or a graveyard, comes from the word kabara. Kabara means to bury or to intern, to conceal, to intern. For example, you intern a body or something, so there's a kabara. So makbara is the place of graves. Singular is makbara, plural is makabir. Madrasa, a school, from what darasa. Darasa is to learn, study. So madrasa is the place of study. Its plural is madaris. You see, this is how we get these words. What is must? So before we go into the next chapter, next lesson, and take questions, let us all together do this exercise. Okay. So I am going to ask you, anybody volunteers, okay? I want you to identify the nouns which have been derived from the verb, and then if you can also try to guess the verb, the original verb, okay?
Can I please ask you to make it a little bit bigger?
Bigger?
Yes, please.
Okay, I cannot make it bigger. This is
I think at the bottom of your slide.
That's good now.
Are you using your phone or a laptop?
Laptop.
Can everybody see this passage?
Yes.
This way we can see, but as soon as you start highlighting,
Okay.
it becomes
Okay,
smaller.
I'll keep this here. Go ahead. Okay, anybody would like to?
Is it kitabu?
Yes, thank you. Kitabu. Al-kitabu is a noun. Okay. How do you know it's a noun?
It has the al in
Because
front
of
of
al,
it.
ahsan, because of al. Now, what is the original word?
Kutub?
Kataba.
Tab.
Kataba, verb. Okay, we want a verb, kataba. So, kitab comes from kataba. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This is the book that in which there is no doubt, referring to Quran. So, kataba is to write, and what is written in a book form is on a kitab, okay? So, al-kitab. الذين, this alif is missing. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Okay. So first of all, can somebody tell us a noun here?
يؤمن.
A ghaib, okay. How do we know it's a noun?
Definite.
Al-ghaib, definitely, okay. What is the verb? Of course, I don't blame you, but I'm just trying to, if you can guess. What is the verb for ghaib? Ghaba. Ghaba. Ghin, Ghain, Alif, and Ba. Ghaba. Okay, like Kala, Ghaba. Ghaba anhu. He, disappeared from him. Ghaba. So Ghaba is to disappear or to hide. No, Ghaba anhu. So bil ghaibi. Another noun is
والصلاة.
As-salat, ahsant. What is the verb?
ويقيمون.
No. What is the verb salat?
Oh,
صلي.
Salli, yeah. Salli is about imperative. Salla, okay. Salla means he prayed. So salla is the verb and the noun is salat, okay. Of course, yukimuna is already noun. We are talking already sorry verb. We are talking of nouns. Okay. Khatamallahu ala qulubihim wa ala samhim wa ala absarihim. So what are the nouns here?
قلوب.
قلوب.
Qulubihim. Okay. So qulub is a noun. What is the verb?
قلب.
Qalaba, son. Qalaba means to turn. Okay, for example, we say Inkilab Islami. Inkilab means when the government is turned over and brings a revolution is not Inkilab. Okay, so it turned over. The Shah government was there, which was turned over. The Islamic government came. So Inkilab, Qalaba is to change. So there are always changes in the hearts. There's always changing of what situations. So Qulub comes from that. Qalaba. The noun is kalbun, is kulub. Okay, so kulubihim. Another noun is
سمعهم.
sam'ihim asar. So what is the verb?
Sama'a.
Sami'a.
Sami'a.
He
Sami'a.
listened. Sami'a asar. Another noun,
أبصارهم.
absarim asar. What is the verb?
بصر.
بصرة.
Basura. Verb.
بصرة.
Keep in mind, in verb, you are supposed to also say the last vowel. Okay, so sajada, kabara, darasa. Unlike in noun, for example, we just say masdar. In this, okay. So it is basara or basura. Basara means to see. Okay. We come next. Ala innahum humul mufsiduna walakin la yash'urun. What is the noun?
مفسدون.
Mufsidun ahsant. What is the verb?
فسد.
Fasada. Fasada is to corrupt. Okay. So Allah, these are the people who are corrupt. Mufsidun are those who are corrupt. Walakin la yash'urun. Okay. So أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى وما ربيت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. So where is the noun here from the verb?
الذين أشركوا.
الضلالة.
الضلالة ahsant. What is the verb?
ضلالة.
Dalla.
ضلالة.
Dalla is to wander around or to get distracted. No, or to just go away from the path. Dalla. Okay, dalal. Next one is
Huda.
huda, with huda. Yeah. So huda is a noun. What is the verb?
هدايا.
Hadaya. Yeah, son. Or hada. Okay. Then next one is tijaratuhum. Okay, their business. So tajara is to transact. Tijaratuhum, their business. Okay? So this is just like an idea that you'll find that majority of the words in Arabic comes from the verbs. And that is now where we are entering now is a very important aspect. Now, all this time we have been doing nouns, but this author has decided to start verbs after lesson 26. So now we are actually entering into a special phase of our language. If you master all those 26 lessons, and now once you understand the verb about the verb, you'll start enjoying even more. You will start comprehending Arabic even better because you know nouns in different forms. Now you see the verb which will join to the noun will give you a proper meaning of complete sentence. Okay. So any questions on these revisions, what you have done?
I had a question on magnified nouns.
Go ahead.
So for each of the magnified nouns, like for example, abun, there's nominative, accusative, and genitive. So abu, aba, abi. when do we know which ones to use? Is it I guess the noun that it's joined to, does it match the Arab of that, or is there like a different rule on that?
What is the question? When do you know?
So, like, for example, when do we know, like, whether we use Abu or Abba or Abi, like
Yeah,
the
of course.
nominative, accusative?
Of course, but as we said, right, that when would you use nuhun? When it is nominative, right? When it is subject.
Yeah, so when do we know when it's nominative, accusative, or genitive? Is it because it matches what the Arab of the attached noun is?
No. If the situation is that, for example, if it's the subject, you'll use Abu, right? If it is if this comes in a object, you use Abba, right? If it comes genitive form, for example, if you prefer what preceded by a preposition, then you use Abi. So like any other noun, except that this is it behaves slightly different. This is the rules are same, except that, for example, we just say nuhun, nuhan, nuhi. Here, in this case, it changes into abu, abba, abi. No, so instead of it does not remain nu. Nu remains nu. We just put fatha, kasra, or dhamma, right? In this case, no. We put, for example, abu with waw and sakin. In abba, waw disappears, and in abi, you can see waw disappears, and then comes ya. So this is the only difference, but otherwise the rules are same. The way you would use nuhun, nuhin, depending on the situation, you're going to use abu, aban, abi. You use the aku, akhan, akhi. So the rules will be same, except that keep in mind that it will not be, for example, fu an, fu e. No, it is fu fa fi instead of nuhun, nuhan, nuhi. There is the only difference.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so that's why it's slightly confusing, but over time you will know, and we discuss in detail this lesson. Now, I was just going very quickly through this thing, but yeah, it will be the same case is like any other. You have to see whether it is a noun, it is an object, so then it will be accusative. Is it a subject? It will be nominative. Is it preceded by a preposition or mudaf ilayh? It will be the genitive, right?
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, good. So now you can start unit 2, inshallah. Open unit 2, and let's go there to lesson number 1. We'll try to finish by 9, inshallah. We still have 10 minutes, okay? So verb is the word that indicates action by one or more persons, even jinns and animals, in the past, present, or future tenses, okay? So because Quran, we are using Quranic Arabic, because we are learning Quranic Arabic, and we believe, as Quran says, that there are species, there are human beings, there are jinns, there are angels, right? Quran talks about this. It is our belief, it's part of our theology. So an action done by a jinn or by an angel or by a human being or even by animal is still a verb, okay? So it's not, for example, that only if an action is done by a human being or an animal, then it is verb, then no. Because Quran talks about there were jinns who listened to the Prophet reciting Quran, and they were amazed by the Quran, right? And all those, the stories of jinns in the Quran, right? So if the action is by even a jinn or animal, it's still an action, it's a verb. It can be in past tense, present tense, or future tense. In Arabic, a verb can be in the past tense, is known as fi'al al-madi. Fi'al al-madi, okay? Present tense, fi'al al-mudari. And imperative form, fi'al al-amr. There are no verbs in future tense. The future is understood by the context or by adding seen or sofa to the present. We'll give you the example later on, okay? So again, keep in mind, there is Arabs say either the action is done or it's going to happen. If it's done, then madi, it's past. If it's going to happen, whether now or in future or soon, is still present tense, okay? If you want to say future, it is understood in the context, or you use seen or sofa. For example, Allah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman tabbat yada abi lahab wa tab. Ma aghna anhu malu wa kasab. Sayasla naran zatana. Yasla is he's going to reach. the fire. But before that, Allah says, Sayasla. Abu Lahab is going to go to Jahannam soon. He was such an enemy that perhaps Allah is trying to say that we won't wait till the day of judgment. Sayasla naran zat Allah. He is soon going to go to fire. No, or in other words, he's not going to last longer. He's going to die soon and become Jahannami, right? Sayasla naran zat Allah. So this scene or sulfur also comes, or just the context that is featured. There is also Fa'ilul Amr. For example, we say Salah is he prayed, but Salli means pray. No, it means Allahumma salli alhamdulillah, that means bless. No? For example, earlier when we did the dua, let's go back completely. There are so many in this dua. You see, there are so many imperative verbs. So you can see, Ehdini, guide me. Wa'afini is the imperative. Watawallani, care for me. Wabarik li, and bless me. Okay. So these are all verbs which are in imperative form, in the order. Okay. We will come to inshallah as a lesson separately on this particular thing. But just in Arabic, we have those verbs, no? Either past tense or present tense, or is in the form of what imperative in order. Okay. So here is an example. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَوَقَّعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمَا ظَلَمُوا فَهُمْ لَا يَنْطِقُونَ. So وَقَّعَ الْقَوْلُ, waqa is to happen. No. إِذَا وَقَعَتِ الْوَاقِعَةُ, when the image is going to happen. No. So waqa is to happen. Our teachers used to say there is a verb in Arabic, there is a proverb in Arabic you should keep in mind, all of you. Al-khayru fima waqa. Let's say that you have decided to drive to go to, say, Kitchener today. Okay, that was your plan, to go and drive there to Kitchener. You had all the plan, suddenly something came up and you could not go. Despite all your plans, everything, something came up, the car did not work, or the program got cancelled, God forbid somebody got sick at home, something happened, right? You could not go. So our teachers used to say, Al-khayru fima waqa. The good is in what has happened, what has taken place. Okay? So waqa is to happen. It's a verb. Waqa'a. وَوَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمَا ظَلَمُوا فَهُمْ لَا يَنْطِقُونَ. وَمَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلًا. So ja'ala is cause, or do, or ja'ala to cause it to happen, make it happen, or do it. No? وَمَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلًا. Allah has not made any path for you over them. No, you have to see the context of it. No? Yes, go ahead, Ali.
The waka, is that past tense?
Yes, yes. And what I've done, I've taken the first waw and separated from different deliberately. Because the first is the conjugation. The waka is the past tense, yes.
Because I'm just looking at the
Translation.
yeah.
What does the translation say?
It says shall fall. Shall fall, as opposed to had fallen.
Shall fall. Yeah. Okay. Maybe because you have to see the context. Because keep in mind that when the translator translates something, he will look into what the target audience. So maybe in this particular text, in particular context, is that it's talking about the future, about what happens. So, for example, in Arabic, we will come to it later on, but I'll give you an example since you asked this question. Now, when it comes to nikah, you will see that the Walana, or the person who is solemnizing the nikah, he says, Ankahatu muwakilati muwakilika ala al-mahr al-ma'lum. I have married, although he is not married, he is now marrying it. After only that siga will he become what? So sometimes they use this past tense also to indicate an emphasis on what is going to happen later. But yeah, waka is a past tense.
Okay.
So ja'alallah again is the past tense. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. One of my favorite verses of Quran. Because when I was doing my bachelor's in Edmonton, UOA, when there were elective courses or selective courses, not something courses, I did a course on environment. And whatever the environmentalists today are promoting, many of those things are Islamic values, except for, of course, certain things. For example, environmentalists, they also promote abortion, because environmentalists believe more children and more population are going to finish the resources of the world. So it's better to abort them. Islam believes that no, for every child, Allah expands the earth. The more children are going to be born, the earth is going to expand and produce more resources to feed them. This is Islamic belief, right? But just now, but at that time, I used to like this because this verse says, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. You find corruption has spread on the land and in the seas. بما كسبت أيدي الناس, on account of what the hands of human being has wrought. So you can see today there is a lot of vegetation that are being affected. So many trees are being cut, right? And it's in fact environmentally. You can see all these forest fires. Imagine Jasper. Did anybody even think that it's going to be burnt? 1/3 of that place. People have lived in Alberta for many years. They'll tell you that it was a favorite place. Everybody used to go there, right? And nobody even dreamt that this will come such a way that you can see 1/3 of the city is burned. So this is it. When people, human beings, they spread corruption. They start cutting the trees and spoiling the rivers, throwing the oil and all those things. And this is what happens. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيديهم, on account of what the hands of human beings have wrought. Right? الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. يؤمنون ويقيمون. These are present tense. Okay? Those who believe and those who establish prayers. ومما رزقناهم ينفقون, they pray in the way of Allah subhanahu. ختم الله على قلوبهم. ختم is to seal. Now ختم الله على قلوبهم ولا سمع. Allah has put a seal over their hearts and their ears. In other words, these hypocrites, whatever you tell them, they won't believe. It's almost because the seal has been put on their hearts. يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم طغيانهم يعمهون. So يستهزئ, they do mockery. And they are يعمهون طغيانهم, and they are just blind in the corruption. Ikra, this is a verb, but this is the order. Read, Ikra. خلق الإنسان من علق. Allah has created, past tense, okay? Yes, sayasla naran. He'll soon reach the fire. Lahab, right? We discussed it. This is another of my favorite verses, because this is the verse which has kept me going. Allah says in Quran, nothing is for human being except what he strives or she strives for. If you strive, you'll get it. If you don't strive, you won't get it. So illa masa, laysa insan illa, nothing is for human being except what he or she strives for. One nasayahu sawfa yura. And then, of course, your efforts shall be seen. You will see the fruits of your efforts. Yes, go ahead, Amjad.
In the two verses before, Ikra and Khalaqa, those are also verbs, right? Is there a reason?
Yes, Khalaqa is on. Yes.
So they're same past tense verbs, right?
Yes, Khalaqa. I just not repeat because already this we discussed earlier. So Khalaqa is here. Ikra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. No. Say in the name of your Lord who created you. Yes, so it's a verb, yes. Summa yuzau jaza alfa. And again, this ayat continues, 39, 40, 41, right? This is a beautiful passage. You should memorize these 4 verses, and talk to your children, your grandchildren, your students. Allah says, nothing is for you except what he or she strives for. And your efforts shall soon be seen, right? If you put efforts in learning Arabic, you'll see the fruits of it. Summa yujzal jazaa wafa. And then Allah says, after that, you will be rewarded the best of rewards. The fullest of jazaa wafa, that means the fullest of reward. Allah will give you the full of reward. So keep in mind that we do it what fullest of reward. Now, before we end, it's 9:03. Just one thing, that we already have a WhatsApp group. Brother Ali Jessa is with us here today. He is the administrator WhatsApp group. And Ali, if you can just appear, if you don't mind, and just give your phone number so they can write. If you would like us to be in the WhatsApp group, whereby, for example, if there's anything you would like to communicate through WhatsApp group, we can do that instead of email. So you're welcome to join that group, okay? But it's your wish. So both Ali and Sister Yasmin are already part of that group, but others can also join. So besides getting what emails, there's a WhatsApp group we can have for Quranic Arabic. We already have it. Yeah. So Ali, can you just share your number?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
If it's possible, could you send me invites to the WhatsApp group via email, and we'll just click on the hyperlink and join.
But he doesn't have your number.
That's what I'm saying. If you could just send the invite to the WhatsApp group to your email list for this class, and we can all go into our emails, click on that link, and we'll be able to join the WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay, if you do that way, that's fine. Otherwise, no, you can share it. Whatever it is, whatever you think is easier, fine. But if you would like to be part of it, otherwise, of course, we'll continue communicating with you email. Good. So Ali, I will send you the email, or you can send me the invitation. Then I will forward to the participants. Yes. So okay. In any case, Ali has shared his number 416-660-4099. Okay, so you can either text him on your WhatsApp, and he will add you there. Otherwise, we'll continue communicating. Any questions? So, of course, the lesson is longer than what we discussed. Make sure that you go through it. And there's a very simple homework here. By the way, the slides have been already uploaded on our website. So those of you who want, here is a simple homework. Okay. Here are the verses from Surah Al-Baqarah. Highlight the verbs and use the color codes to differ between past and present tense. Okay. So if it's past tense, use this in present. So these are the verses from Surah Al-Baqarah. Any questions?
So this session is being recorded, so you're gonna send through email the link?
Inshallah, usually we post the links. We won't send by email. What we do is that you go to a website. If you go to academyislam.com/ali-689, you'll find the slides already are there. Lesson is there also. And also, inshallah, recording will be posted.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But inshallah, yeah, maybe Ali will later on, since he's a administrator of this WhatsApp, he may also post the slides there.
And when we doing ziyarat of each other?
Well, inshallah, all of you are welcome to put your video on.
No, physically in center.
Yeah. Okay, we'll let you know, inshallah. We'll let you know, inshallah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Again, thank you very much for joining us. So today, namaz time was, you can see at today namaz time was 7:53. Next Tuesday, which will be 17th of September, the namaz time will be 7:40. Okay. So what we'll do, we will start with namaz after namaz immediately. Okay. So you won't start the class before namaz, but after namaz. So keep in mind, I'll email you, but just keep in mind that we'll start namaz and start it, because 7:40, if I break after 5 minutes, it will be too short the time. But make sure that you join immediately after namaz. We'll email you about that.